البوز انا من وقت للتاني لما نصير في عنا ديسكشنز. بس هيك بصير حتى اذا فتحت بلحظه معينه وعملت اي انتراكشن مع السيستم او مع جوجل كلاس روم حيصير ريجستر فور جود على الفيديو، وطالما يو ار gonna join the course as a students حيبقى معكم هذا الفيديو فور جود. اوكي مدى الحياه حيضلوا هذا الفيديو افيلبل فيك. You can refer to it for any question or for any further information. Okay. So let's start with the introduction. Actually, I'm presenting this workshop as the head of the Lebanese Center for Pedagogical Innovation. I'm going to explain what is it in the first step of this presentation. Then I'm going to talk about the general idea of learning management systems and e-learning, okay, and where we are currently at AUL and where we are heading eventually. Then I'm going to explain furthermore the Google suite of applications for education and the Google Classroom application specifically, and give you the workshop plan for the next part of it. Okay. Actually, the Lebanese Center for Pedagogical Innovation has been in conception since 2016 within the ADIP project. It is a European campus project in which AUL was involved with other universities from Lebanon, Egypt, France, and Romania, other countries. So the idea was to establish a structure at AUL that will manage the teaching and learning committee. So you are all aware of the current governance framework that is taking place at AUL. We have various committees taking care of students' experience, of human resources, and we have the teaching and learning committee that should take care of the methodology of teaching and the various paradigms and approaches of learning, especially using information technology and facilitating the access to the information for a wider range of students. The office should refer to the president directly and collaborate with the faculty, deans, and with the departments, head of the departments, the quality assurance department, and with the information and communication technology department to ensure that the infrastructure is up and running. Grosso modo, we are trying to guide all of us at AUL towards excellence in higher education through continuous improvement of our teaching and learning methodologies and through the integration of technology. I'm going to go very quickly on this one because we are going to see it in details in the TLC meeting on Friday, and it won't be quite relevant for this workshop today. Is the LCPI a new idea? Actually, not at all. The LCPI is present in plenty of different universities. I just captured 2 universities in Lebanon and 2 abroad, and like you have very close names such as the Center for Pedagogical Innovation in UK, in a UK-based university, or the Learning and Teaching Department Service in Newcastle University. So we're not cloning them. Actually, I just Googled them yesterday, and the idea in 2016 was like developed out of nowhere. So we are not mimicking anyone. We just participated in that beautiful project, European project. We acquired a lot of nice equipment, a media server, a camera, a phone, a microphone, sorry, and clickers, and an interactive board. So we can prototype with them, and we can transfer this knowledge to our colleagues from the LCPI to all of our colleagues, and we hope to enhance the teaching and learning process. So our aim is to be able eventually, within a couple of years, to even record online videos, such as the videos that you already see on Coursera. Maybe you know this website, coursera.org. It's an MOOC website, massive open online courses website. It has various courses from different universities, very known universities around the world, And each student will pay the original university a certain part of the fees and the platform itself, okay? So why not to have a basic platform like this at IUL? Maybe just for the benefit of projecting the same content, the same courses in the main branch and in the other branches, for instance, for a couple of master courses, if you don't have the budget or the resources to do it for all the courses. So I hope that we can start by fall 2018 and to enlarge our scope or furthermore over time. So last year when we went to a meeting in France, actually we found out that it's not an easy task to create online courses. If you just throw your PDF files, your usual slides with no audio, with no video, with no explanation on it, it will be, they call it, the French colleagues, they called it a symmetry of PDFs, okay, like مقبرة للPDF. So, okay, so you're gonna throw everything and without any interaction with the students, without, like, if you continue on taking the exercises and assignments manually, and taking the attendance manually, and doing a lot of things manually, without interaction with the students, without collaboration with other colleagues, without collaboration with the students themselves, taking feedback from them, this will be useless actually, okay? So this is why you should specify for every single section in your course the involved learning resources, the type of the assessment or active learning activity that you are creating, how the students will interact with the assignment, what are the deliverables, the duration, the submission means. You should explain this to the students when they are using, like, they cannot guess it. Each time maybe you are using Dropbox for this assignment, or Google Doc or Google Sheet for that assignment. We're going to talk about them later on. So, and the evaluation mean, actually putting this in a clear, for example, the evaluation modalities to your students, maybe you said something about it in the class, okay, but they weren't focusing on it. So if you write it down and when they will get home and they will see the complete modalities of their evaluation, I think they will do their best at least to make sure that 3 of your 4 checklist items are met in their homework, okay? So this will actually help the students, and they will also help the department to evaluate the assessment itself, whether it's relevant, yes or not, whether it should be enhanced later on in the next semester, yes or not, whether it's covering the learning outcomes, yes or not, and so on and so forth, okay? So actually it requires usually a complete redesign most often of your course, okay? And making it student-centered, learning outcome-centered, not teacher-centered, objective-centered, okay? So this is why in this workshop, just the last word about this slide, in this workshop we are not going to design an effective course. Maybe we will let this work for a next workshop. It will be very challenging. It will require a lot of brainstorming. Maybe we should do it with each faculty apart, because each course has its own specificity. But for the moment, we are going to just learn, given a table like this one, in case you could prepare it, how to make it accessible to the students online. So we are going to just learn the technical part in this workshop today, okay? An example of course scenariization, what I did in the research method course, actually behind the scenes I'm working on Moodle. It is a different learning management system than Google Classroom. In the next slide I'm going to talk about it and compare both of them. So I'm working on Moodle just to be like ahead of the IUL community, to be able to explore the other advantages and possibilities that we have out there. But actually you will see that Google Classroom is fantastic, can do a lot of things. But just to give you an idea, so in the research method course, the students are able, using a learning management system, to submit their work, to see how I already evaluated a sample proposal submission for a master's thesis, all the comments that I gave on it, actually 2 different samples, one good and one intermediate level acceptable. And they will see actually, they will submit their own work, and they will be able to review the works of 2 other students, because reviewing the works of others is part of the learning outcomes of the research methods course, okay? So just an example of how you can use course standardization and learning management system techniques in such platforms. So give us examples of such platforms. So maybe you have heard about Moodle or Blackboard or EDX or OpenEDX or Google of our workshop. So most of these learning management systems will allow you to create accounts for your instructors, accounts for your students with different privileges, because the instructor can grade the students can, and they can create assignments. The students can submit the assignment, okay? But maybe all of them, they can share some ideas, share some files and resources if you allow it, okay? So the quick comparison, I'm not gonna go into the details except if you really want it on the coffee breaks. Or in my office, you are more than welcome. So the Google Classroom, it's quite simple to use. You will see it today. Yet very efficient, very quite complete for what we want to do, especially if we consider that we want to generalize it for all the faculties at IUL, okay? It's the minimum required that we can imagine, and it's a great shift as a first step, as you shall see. Mainly, you can have comments on anything, on any resource that you uploaded, on any part in your course. You will see students, they will have the courage to say, oh, this is quite tough. Can anybody worked on it? And you will have another student, brilliant student, who is gonna answer the question and who's gonna actually help his colleague. And this is great, actually. You will have your own word. You can delete a comment, or you can reply to a comment and make it more interactive. So, please. We can integrate it with Drive and Docs, which are two different services from Google. We shall see more about them, but mainly Drive is to be able to upload easily files and to have them available online. You heard me talking about sharing the same course content with your colleague. So how to do it if all your files are just locally available on your computer? So Drive is a cloud storage service. It's an internet-based service that will allow you to store your files. And Google Docs will allow you to edit these files, text files, in real time. You can see who is editing the file in real time. And you can have the history of all the changes of your file. You can reverse a certain file to a previous version and so on. It's also integrated with the whole Google suite, which has a lot of features and applications, which is not the case with Moodle and the others. And it has an made by Google. So the ICT department is managing the user accounts, the permissions, and a lot of stuff, but at least they are spared a lot of headaches, okay? While with Moodle, with which we started prototyping in 2017, we have a very rich and varied type of learning activities. We can create the workshop activity. We can create complex assignments with a specific due date, cutoff dates, with different permissions. We can relate the assignments to learning outcomes, okay? We can say you cannot go to do this quiz unless you do that first quiz, okay? So you can create a lot of complex learning situations that you cannot do with simple activities under Google Classroom. You have a very complex grading schema. So with Google Classroom, you can have just integer grades or decimal grades. Very recently, they added the decimal grades to grade with 25.5, let's say. But with Moodle, you can have, for example, for my research method course, I have to help the students evaluate their colleagues' work. They are giving grades of the type, the introduction was excellently done, was barely done, was not done, let's say. Okay, so you can create scales of grading, and you can play with it really as much as you like. Yes?
Complex grading, you mean it's complex to use, or you can generate a complex grading form? Complex grading system.
You can generate a complex grading system. Within each quiz, you can, for example, for the quizzes, it's not a binary. Like you don't have only one correct true answer within a multiple choice. You can say give them penalty for that wrong answer. For that specific answer, give them 2 points. For that one, give 3 points. For that one, give them 1.
It's easy to use, but you can generate.
Absolutely. At least, okay, it's hidden by default because they don't want to overwhelm the new users, but it's feasible. You can seek it somewhere and you can find it, okay? And even for the whole course, it's meant to be used as final exams and so on, and to give weights for all the exams and to have the final grade. In Google Classroom, you can have the grades for each assessment apart, okay? It's up to you actually to create formulas in an Excel sheet because you can export them to Excel and to create a formula to get the final grade, okay?
You have mentioned that it fits much more the faculties than.
Yeah. In Moodle, if we don't have G Suite, actually we have multiple plugins. Some are free and some others usually are developed within the university itself. Once the university is willing to engage in such learning management system, they will eventually hire a group of developers, okay? At least 1-2 developers who will be in charge of developing specific plugins to export the data and the grades of the students to the main system, to import the students' names and create them automatically, to have specific analytics for the deans, for the head of the departments, and so on and so forth, because you don't have all of these defined by default in Moodle, okay? And you can actually, a very nice thing, you can export and import your course files as kind of an archive or zip file that you can import later on in Blackboard or in other systems. This feature that is not currently supported in Google Classroom, which is a little bit annoying. If you want to show your courses within AUL, you can show it only to another instructor within AUL. They all have to have this live.aul.edu.lb email address or account. You cannot share it with yourself. Let's say bs003@live.aul.edu.lb cannot share his courses with bilal.saeed@gmail.com. So which is a little bit annoying if you want to get opinions of external colleagues or share it with an external audience, okay? This is why, and since it's open to any Google account, we actually are planning to use Google Classroom at least for the upcoming couple of years. And once you will have more requirements and you will become more pickier on what you want to do on a learning management system, the change will come naturally, okay? And we will migrate and upgrade to another learning management system if you really want it, okay? We will have the same colleagues meeting. And yes. Yes.
Comparing with Google Classroom, because I already tried to use Edmodo.
Yes. Yeah. ED
Moodle.
ED Moodle. Modo. Yes, I don't have it here. Yeah. Okay.
It's very close to Google Classroom. It's free and very easy to use.
Okay.
You can integrate the Drive, dogs.
Very nice. So Dr. Hisham is talking about Edmodo, another learning management system that is quite close to Google Classroom. I would say that maybe the only advantage that we have the edge for Google Classroom at AUL is that we already have the live accounts that are Google-based, and so you will have your students' names and IDs exported and imported easily from Google Classroom to the system. So this is the only any other system actually. Otherwise, you will need to do some integration. Okay, so I think, but it's worth checking. I didn't actually explore all of them currently. I know EGX, Moodle, and a little bit about Blackboard, but the panoply of choices is really vast and large. Okay. So to give you a clearer idea about Google Classroom, let's see it in action. So you have here a short video that will show you. You will see the video going through course creation, how a student will join a certain course and will start seeing the material in it, how the instructor can create an assignment, how the students will see and submit the assignment, how they will be afterwards graded and have the instructor feedback one by one. So let's see this very short video, 2 minutes video. I don't have the comment so that they can enhance their work for the next time. So did you get an idea of what we can do with Google Classroom? Okay, so far? Yes?
It's very similar to Cisco administrative accounts.
I'm quite sure, yes. These are becoming the default features of all learning management systems. So it's not shocking. So here an example of an instructor account who already created a couple of courses. Here you see list of courses on Google Classroom for multiple courses. Once you click on one of these courses, you can see like a lot of details about the participants, about the course in general, the syllabus, and so on. And in what they call a stream that is quite similar to Facebook feed or Facebook stream, you will see a lot of posts actually, typically posted by the instructor, and they will vary from like simple announcement to questions to exercises and so on and so forth. And you will see the students interacting with it. So here you see one of my Access students telling me, what about the for more fun part? Like I called one the last part in my homework just for fun. So can you give us a hint about how to do it? So he wants really to take the challenge. All the other students will notice it, will know it actually. And here I'm giving great, sure, and here are the extra information to be able to solve it. And so this will allow you actually to do it from your like while waiting at the dentist, the clinic, or at the bank actually for a transfer to be made. So you can really use your time wisely, and you are not obliged to stick to your screen. You can, from your mobile device, interact with your students. Of course, you have to put a certain limit for the weekends and the family, but at least it's feasible. It's doable, okay? So what about the G Suite integration? So Classroom, you may notice that it's one of the applications of G Suite. You have Drive for the files, as I said, Docs to be able to edit online Word-like documents or Excel-like documents, or even to create slides, okay, using Google Slides. You have Google Forms with which you can create a form that can be complex form, not like the question simple forms that you have within Google Classroom. You can create a complex form to get feedback from your instructors for the next department meeting. So you can use it for different purposes, okay? Or from your students actually at the beginning of each course or by the end of each course. And eventually the faculties, if I'm not wrong, for the quality assurance procedure, they will send surveys to the instructors and students, and they will fill it using Google Forms, etc., etc. So you have a great integration with plenty of tools, and you can access them right from this button here beside your Google account, okay? The most important thing with all these is that this suite is completely free for education. So for schools, it's just sufficient to have a certain edu.lb account website, and then you will be granted the system for free. It's not free for businesses. G Suite is also used by many businesses out there, by big companies nowadays. Besides that, it's cross-platform. It's a technical word. It means you can use it on either your PC through a browser or on your mobile device or tablet, iPhone or iOS, Android, whatever you want. Okay, so this is really great with all the G Suite tools. Let's dig a little bit deeper on Google Classroom, because with the short video, we haven't seen all the features. So I'm going to just shed the light on a certain advanced features of Google Classroom that will be very beneficial for every one of you. So obviously, the course content, you will have them within it. But the advantage of a learning management system, as I said, is that your files will be commentable by the students. You will have their valuable feedback. I didn't get that point. This exercise is difficult, and so on and so forth. And the students will also have the chronological order. Before, like 2015, we used to use Google Drive or Dropbox. But the students won't have the visibility. So I used to name all my slides and files as 01 introduction, 02 chapter 1, and so on and so forth, because otherwise they will be lost. So here they will have, as in Facebook, you can see the posts of yesterday or the posts of today in a very clear chronological order. You will have it also with comments facilities for all the contents. You can post announcements, questions, and assignments. For the assignments, you can have a deadline. You can grade them. Even the questions, by the way, you can also grade them. If they answer the question, you can make it with the grades or without the grades. You will have student feedback everywhere. A very nice thing, you can reuse posts from previous years, from other courses also, okay? So, for example, if you are going to say, although you sent an SMS via the ICT department to say that you are going to be absent during that week for a certain conference, you can also publish it on your Google Classroom to all your students for all the classes at once. Okay, so you just create the post once for all, and then they will have it, all of them. You can also collaborate with other instructors, and this is quite important. You can invite another colleague as an instructor to your course, of course, or as a student, but as an instructor, so that you can benefit from these advantages. So I'm going to start with the advantages with this point here, the collaboration. You can collaborate easily with the lab instructors. I'm talking about the courses that which have labs, with a teaching assistant, whatever, maybe an assistant or whatever, with the coordinator of the course among all the branches, or the chairperson. And this will give the chairperson a great follow-up facility, okay? They can see everything. They can see all the courses if they want to, actually. It's not intrusive. You can go whenever you want and check them up, okay? So you can see, even if for the moment you don't have a coordinator for course X, but you can see course X section Beirut and course X section Dikwene, and you can check what are they giving in each course. And in the next department meeting, you can try to bring them closer to each other, okay? The course file, we talk about the course file all the time. It's great to have the course file from each instructor in case the instructor change, in case a certain student is repeating the course, and so on. So the course file is already in your pocket, at least as a content, okay? Maybe it lacks only the forms, the online forms and surveys to get feedback from the instructors and students. So all the other points, like, they are obvious and clear for you now, I hope. And one point is that in one of the researchers in the domain of education initiated what they call the Bloom's taxonomy, in which like you have a pyramid of the various learning activities, and you have the raw knowledge, acquiring a certain knowledge, like just memorizing certain knowledge in the base of the pyramid, okay? It's a very basic activity. You cannot do much with it. But once you start analyzing multiple acquired knowledge pieces, then you can do maybe something useful with it. And you can go up to till the synthesis phase, where you can actually apply your acquired knowledge and do something with it, okay? And absolutely, learning management systems, not only Google Classroom, will help you in doing this by giving your students reading activities at home and videos to be watched and so on and so forth, and flipping your classroom so that they can come to the class and analyze, discuss, and build with you in the class, okay? A very basic example on this. Imagine like if you are giving a certain computer literacy course, okay? For example, how to use Word. Usually you say how to create a style under Word. You go to this button here, you click on it, you name the style, you can change the properties like this, and so on and so on. You hit save, and then you apply it on that specific line. This is only a procedure. It's raw knowledge. You cannot do much thing with it. In another piece of knowledge, you can tell them that you can map each style to a certain numbering facility, let's say to number the chapters or sections, okay? But to make if they can watch these videos by themselves, what you can do in the class, you can bring a certain document from let's say, a certain senior project or a certain brochure that you found the other day in the market, and you can ask them, hey guys, how you can use what we learned or what you learned in the videos to create such a brochure or to create such a document or template, to recreate your master thesis template. Let's do it in a class, okay? So this will absolutely bring more dynamism in your courses and in your content. These slides will be on your desktop in a few minutes. So here you have the link to Google Classroom and the links to the mobile application. Even though you can Google it from the App Store or you can search it actually from the App Store or the Play Store, and you can find it easily. You type just Google Classroom. And as long as you have this account, you can access the application with no worries. A quick glance at the current state of Google Classroom at AUL. Surprisingly, AUL is already using Google Classroom to a large extent. So we have, in spring 2018, around 50 courses. We have 20 courses with daily activities. Okay, so it means like you have at least one post on it, you have at least one submission by a student on it, one comment, and so on and so forth. And we have around 800 posts during the last 6 months. Okay, so in total in all these courses, so we have a certain activity up to 6 in average per day, and some days we had around 17 different posts or assignments created on Google Classroom. So it is used and it is actively used, okay? But still 50 courses in comparison with the offered courses that usually they are around 200 courses per semester, 300 courses per semester. It's still like a big, like we have a lot to do, we have a lot to go, but no, we are on the right track, I hope. Yes?
So, as you have, what about the hard?
Yes.
As my colleague Bilal started to talk about they should have 4 years ago, as you know, during the last meeting of the university board meeting, was Dr. Adnan Hamzi. No, it's okay. So as you know, there is several major challenges facing the I'm talking about 4 years ago. First one, we want to have a broader
teaser خفيفة للشغل. Actually, the first step, you're gonna join a training course as students. It's a course that I made myself. You're gonna join it as students. حتى أنا صراحة بعترف I admit إنه أول مرة بفوت بلبس طاقية الستودنت بفوت بشوف الميلة تاعيتهم هن، فاستغربت كيف كثير من الفانكشناليتيز ما كنت بعرفها انه الطلاب بيقدروا يعملوا هيك وتاكدت ان البرميشنز شو بيحق لهم يشوفوا شو بيحق لهم يعملوا، فايتس ريلي نايس. ذا نكست ستيب، وهيك باي ذا واي بتقدروا تصيروا تنزلوا هدول السلايدز، اوكي، يوزنج الكورس تاعي، فيكم تنزلوا هدول السلايدز، والسلايدز الثانيين هودي اسمهم ورك شوب انترو، وفي سلايدز ثانيين اسمهم 02 ورك شوب اكسرسايزز اللي حنبلش فيهم بثاني مرحله من الورك شوب. ذن بعد ما تعملوا داونلود للسلايدز we are gonna interact through answering questions. حتفوتوا على الكورس تاعي مطلوب منكم تجاوبوا على اسئله، بس اجمالا تجاوبوا عليها حتضطروا تعملوا الاكسرسايزز، اوكي؟ سو maybe like I hope انه هيدا الورك شوب تريننج اكسرسايزز يفرجوكم هن كيف فيك تستعمل مودل تو كريت انت حتى على موضوع مثل ديجيتال ماركتينج ولا اي موضوع بزنس ولا حتى هيومانيتيز ولا اكسرسايزز بالجرامر ولا بالانجلش. You can really create very nice and interactive tasks and learning activities with the students. And then actually لننظم الشغل بركي بصير فينا نشتغل in groups of انا ما كنت عارف كم كرسي فيه فحطيت بين 3 و5 طلعوا 4 فبركي فينا نقعد كل رو كل حدا فيكم لازم يكون استاذ ويخلق at least one course بس كمان ليساعد رفقاته لازم يتسجل عندهم as a student وهلا بتعطوا الاكونتس لبعضكم او you can invite each other بتعرفوا اسماء بعضكم وجوجل كلاس روم بيخليكم تكملوا اسم الطالب لحاله. ف you can subscribe to each other courses. هيك حدا بيخلق assignment رفقاته 3 بيصيروا بيفوتوا بيعملوا سبمشن لشو ما بدهم بس مشان يجربوه هو بياخذ فيدباك بيصلح لهم بيعطي لهم علامات and it will be very fun. I'm quite sure you will exchange a lot of funny comments وخبريات وقصص بس انه you will be doing the exercises and learning classroom at the same time. Okay so هيدا حنبلشوا هلا ان شاء الله بعد البريك على 11:30. Okay يلا thank you.